Hello, welcome to your next subject with me, destination management and marketing. This subject is very interesting because it will broaden your knowledge regarding how to have a very promising destination using your skills in managing and in marketing. So it will be very helpful for you guys because you can really use the learnings that you will have in this subject if you really want to pursue your job career in the future in the tourism industry. Okay, so the objectives of this first lesson first is familiarize students with the definition and scope of destination management and marketing. Develop an understanding of the elements of the tourism system. Understand the driving factors of destination marketing and management, and learn the important roles of DMOs to destination marketing. So, what is DMOs? Let's see. Okay, so most of tourism activities take place at destination. So let's have a look first. What is destination? A destination forms a pillar in any modeling of the tourism system and has emerged as the fundamental unit of analysis in tourism. It's true. Because all of the strategies that the tourism professionals have, they are pertaining to how to improve a certain tourist destination, how to promote sustainability in that specific destination. So, lahat ng pag-aaral ng tourism, mostly, is for the destination itself. However, destination marketing and management is a complex issue which requires a comprehensive, holistic, and systematic approach to understand it. Yes, it is very complex. Yeah, you can notice in our succeeding lesson how complex it is. To understand our chapter, let's just have a quick review. What is the definition of destination? Destination is a geographical space in which a cluster of tourism resources exist rather than a political boundary. Okay. It is a location that a person travels to and that is distinct from their usual place of residence. Boundaries of destinations are necessarily tied to the characteristics of travel patterns, but that destination marketers and managers tend to operate on administrative boundaries that often limit an accurate conceptualization of a destination. So in the first meaning, you can notice the word geographical. So all destinations are obviously in a certain geographical space because it's an area. A destination is like an area, a place. It is a space. It is a location that person travels to and that is distinct. Okay? So if you will travel, di ba, ang gusto mo is you will go to a place which you've never been before. It's really different from your place of origin because you want to experience extraordinary things that you are not normally experiencing from your place of origin. So sometimes, as we have read here, some factors considering destination, especially if a place is very extraordinary, very unique. It has aesthetic qualities like super ganda niya. Sometimes the places or yung mga lugar kung saan located yon, they tend to claim the ownership of that place, nag-aagawan, for a specific destination. So we should not consider that the destination is a political boundary. Because this destination, whether it be located in a specific part of an area, it is of its overall country value. So sa pangkalahatan yan, hindi lang iisa yung may-ari. But the LGU or the place na nakakasakop doon, they have the right to impose their different policies pertaining to its protection and promotion. Therefore, destination competitiveness and attractiveness demand effective and integrative marketing and management strategies which are based on a sound understanding of the market condition. This statement by Pike of 2008, dito iikot yung buong subject natin. That destination competitiveness and attractiveness demands effective and integrative marketing. So, how can you come up with a beautiful or with an attractive destination? How can you be attracted to the specific destination? It's through effective and integrative marketing, which depends on the market itself. We should always consider the market and who is that market. Of course, our client, our customers, our guests. But we should always consider that they have also their own responsibility in maintaining the sustainability of that destination. So now we are done with the definition of destination. Let's have the 3 elements to describe the tourism system. First, the geographical, then second, tourist, and lastly is the tourism industry. Let's have our in-depth understanding between the 3 in our next slide. Geographical elements include 3, and the first one of those 3 is the tourist destination region. Okay, geographical pertains to a place in a specific area. It consists of land. It can be a land, it can be sea or mountains or highlands. That's all geography comes in. The tourist destination region is one of the most important elements in the whole tourism system. It emphasizes what the suppliers can do for the tourist. So, according here, the tourist destination is really a place for tourists. It has its own outstanding value. That's why tourists came to that specific destination, because they want to experience what they haven't experienced in their place of origin. And the second one, for the geographical elements, the traveler generating region. It refers to the place where the tourists come from. It is the generating market that stimulates and motivates travel. So for example, the customer or the client came from a very hot country, like for example in Middle East. That's their drive. That's their motivation, why they want to travel to another place, because of the weather. It stimulates their drive to travel to a place na mas cooler, that they can enjoy maybe swimming or having a cool temperature, because yun yung wala sa kanila. And we have here the last geographical element, which is the transit route region. It includes both the short period of travel from the tourist home region to the destination and other places on the way that the tourist may stop to visit. For example, a customer has their travel to Europe, and most of the time, Europe from the Philippines is a connecting flight. Maybe it's a connecting flight, and maybe um, they will have their first stop in maybe in Abu Dhabi, for example, and then their stop in Abu Dhabi would take them like 24 hours. So what will they do? Instead of just staying in their hotel or in an area provided by the airline, because it's a connecting flight, they would roam around, not really far from the airport, but maybe areas near the airport for them to maximize the time. Not that they are just staying, but also learning the place kung saan tumigil lang sila. So most of our tourists maximize their time to enjoy their travel. So after the geographical elements, which is one of the three elements to describe the tourism system, we have our second element, which are tourists. Tourists can help to improve the tourism environment, to enhance the images of the destinations, to push the tourism industry forward, and to energize the whole tourism system. In a word, without tourists, there would be no tourism. So it is said that tourists are the most important stakeholder in a tourism system. Why? Because without them, there will be no service or products for sale. Without them, there will be no hotels. Maybe meron pa rin, but it's not for economic consumption. It's just for necessity consumption. Because tourists, when they travel, they spend a lot. They are required to bring their money with them to experience the best when they depart from their home country. For example, you will be given the chance to travel. It's once in a lifetime opportunity, and what you want to do, you will do whatever it takes to enjoy your stay in that specific place. And you have to consider that you have to bring money, and that money will greatly contribute to the whole life of tourism. Because without tourists paying for the products and the services, the maintenance of those destinations would be really impossible. Tourists, even though we've been hearing lots of news that they are the contributing factors why Boracay came to the point that it shut down, because tourists are undisciplined enough to control their waste. But we should also retain in our mind that tourist is the blood of all tourism business available today. Without them, there will no transactions. Walang bibili ng products, walang mag-i-enjoy ng service, walang magbabayad for that products and services. You see, if a destination barely visited by customers, by tourists, ano nangyayari sa destination? dumudumi. Wala nagme-maintain. Kasi wala silang pambayad to staff para maglinis nun. Wala silang pang-sustain. Wala silang pondo to rehabilitate the said destination. And the last element in our tourism system is the tourism industry itself. So it refers to the businesses and organizations that help to promote the tourism product. According to Leaper, year 1995, various industrial sectors can be located in different places. In the traveler generating region, we can find travel agents and tour operators. While in the destination region, we can find attractions and the hospitality industry. And in transit route region, we have the transport sector. The primary tourism industry is composed of travel trade, transport, accommodation and catering, as well as catering facilities and tourist attractions. Different sectors or companies provide these products and services to suit all budgets and taste. So in our last sentence here, we can notice that the tourism industry really focused on the preferences of its most important stakeholder, which is the tourist, the paying customer, the paying client. And the tourism industry is the one who's sustaining the products and services. And those services should be of high standard always to suit the needs, the changing needs and requirements of our customers. Upon hearing all the definition provided towards destination, the three elements of the tourism system, let's have the definition of our subject, which is the destination and marketing management. It is said that DMM, or the Destination and Marketing Management, is a proactive, visitor-centered approach to the economic and cultural development of a destination that balances and integrates the interests of visitors, service providers, and the community. Okay. So earlier, we just had the definition of destination, the tourism system. But here, it's a broad context. See? Destination marketing management, proactive, visitor-centered approach to the economic and cultural development of a destination, balances the interest. It is interrelated. Once you formulated an approach for the destination itself, it will bring you to economic and cultural development. Kasi pag maganda ang destination mo, if it's well maintained, it is sustained, that destination will not just be beautiful to the eye, but it's also very beneficial for the economy. It will bring money to the economic system of the country. And after that, the cultural development, the way of living ng mga tao, the way of living ng mga, especially nung mga nakatira malapit doon. They have generated jobs, the destination generated jobs for them. And then mag-improve yung way of life nila. While maintaining the quality of the destination, it's also maintaining and improving the quality of life of the people, who is an important part also of the maintenance of the destination, because they are the community na nakatira malapit doon. Without them, if they are rude to the tourist, or if they post war or chaos to the visiting people there, or the tourists, the visitors, wala din pupunta dun. So the community, the service providers, the visitors should always work hand in hand to have this development, to have a proactive or a very viable, a very beneficial way of sustaining the destination. So, upon hearing the definition of the destination marketing and management, let's have here the driving factors of destination marketing and management. Tourism system is not an independent or closed system. Its development relies on the support of other external or environmental systems such as sociocultural, economic, political, and physical. According to a report of the 2008 Future Studies conducted by CAI or Carl Albert International for the Destination Marketing Association International, the following 8 super trends have been identified as the driving forces for destination marketing and management. So, as we all know, tourism is not a standalone industry. It is interconnected, it is being affected by the changes na nangyayari outside of it. For example, the political aspect, the geographical aspect also. So, if yung mga aspect outside tourism ay nag-iba, or may mga external factors na nabuo, for example, this pandemic, who would know that mangyayari itong pandemic? So, it will affect the tourism system. Because as we all know, tourism system is not a standalone system. It is not a closed system. It is also not an independent system. So lahat ng nangyayari outside of it, it will affect tourism. Okay, so the first driving factors that affects destination marketing and management is the customer environment, the proliferating preferences. Travel customers increasingly seek and respond to a diversified set of value clusters, combinations of experiences, products, and prices that suit their individual differences or preferences. Destinations must design, promote, and coordinate a satisfying total visitor experience that maximizes the economic contribution to the destination and one that stimulates return, intention, and referral behavior. Destination marketers must craft an even richer palette of options and target their value packages more skillfully to various preference patterns. So we are all familiar that customer preferences are really changing. It's very diverse. One season they like this product, and after that season ayaw na nila. One season they would like to go to Maldives, and after one season iba naman. So their preferences are really changing. And paano ka sasabay sa change na yon? It's for the destination to design, promote, and coordinating a satisfying total visitor experience that nagmamaximize dun sa economic contribution ng destination. So, ang mag-a-adjust is the destination itself. Saan siya mag-a-adjust? It can be on its components, sa physical components niya, sa way of offering ng service niya, or mismo sa service itself, or it can be on the way of approach ng mga staff, or maybe it can they can change their packaging, or they can change their product line. So it's the destination, the stuff behind it, and all the tourism sector should be the one to adjust. For example, in this pandemic. So this pandemic really brought the tourism industry into a very challenging time. But as you can hear also in the news, they are really adapting. They have adapted already this new normal because they have to adjust. The society requires them to adjust. Kasi hindi na mag-work yung dating kinagawian. They have to adjust their system, their operation procedures, the policies in their destination, because customers and some external factors affect the industry itself. So for our next factor that affects the destination marketing and management, we have here the competitor environment, the battle for attention. So as the travel market continues to evolve towards greater fluidity, complexity, and disintermediation and reintermediation, visitors and the businesses that sell services to them face a bewildering set of information choices. This means that the competition now, especially in this technology-based time, is very stiff. If you post something, like for example, a resort, post their newly built swimming pool near the ocean or near the sea. What do we call that? The silhouette type, yung derecho. For example, a swimming pool which is connected with the sea. For example, a specific resort post their pictures showing that they have built like that, build a pool like that. What will their competitors do? They would also, to their most effort, copy that same level of facility, because they want to be at par to their competitor. Gusto nila lagi sila magkaka-level. And even the dissemination of the information provided by these suppliers, by these resorts, hotels, airlines, it can easily be copied because of the presence of the World Wide Web or the internet. So it's been a really challenging in the part of the destination marketers, because most popular information source for visitors and the businesses that sell services to them are being copied. Hindi na alam kung sino ang legit na information provider. And also nagsusulputan yung mga influencers, yung mga nakapunta doon, and then they would brag about being there for the first time, or maybe they are regular customers of that specific resort. They would brag in social media, and then it would maybe madami nag-share. So the information provided is a bit confusing. Where is it located? Ito ba yung located sa ganyan? And then after seeing through the comments, hindi naman pala. So yun yung matinding kalaban ng mga destination marketers ngayon. Even the pinakamababang tao, even the pinakamalayong tao from the specific destination, kaya niyang mag-share ng isang Facebook post, which is sometimes hindi naman tunay. Hindi yun yung exact na provide na service. So in this factor, the economic environment, dodging asteroids, it says here that the increasingly volatile and uncertain economic environment makes it necessary to plan flexibly and with various economic shocks and even catastrophic contingencies in mind. Destinations must form their strategic plans and development agendas around alternative economic scenarios and must have contingency plans for responding to previously unthinkable economic upheavals. So, as we all know, tourism is really affected by the economic flow, especially in a specific country. Because sometimes the spending capacity of tourists affect their buying capacity of tourism products and services. If mababa yung economy, the tendency tourists will not roam around to buy tourism products and services because they would prioritize their needs, their necessities. That is why the economic environment should be considered as a factor which can affect the destination marketing and management. So one factor that also affect the the destination marketing and management is the technological environment. We are all familiar with this topic because it has been already said that technology really affects today's tourism industry. And here you can say that destination marketers must build, maintain, and continually improve state of the art web based resources that visitors can rely on for their travel decisions. And also, the technological advancement that this time provides really help the company and also destination marketers to really reach out with people who can access internet more or who access internet more rather than going physically to a specific travel agent or a tour operator, because most of the people now they tend to spend more time doing things online, checking things online. So the destination marketers must use all the resources that they have to implement social technologies such as social networking, community building, and user generated content. It also includes constant attention to search engine optimization and careful analysis of website traffic patterns. So that means the access of tourists to online platforms should be more convenient and easier so that their needed information will be with them on hand at the most possible time, because technology really help tourism, especially nowadays where people should not um, go out, should not um, go physically hand in hand together. They need to be physically distant to each other. So people rely on most of the time to online platforms. The next factor that we have is the social environment. So from the word social, it involves more people. And this people pertains to the community. So as we all have agreed saying that community should also benefit from the tourism business and activities. It's not always the business themselves. The community should be included, should be involved, and they should have their own equal benefit. It says here that destinations must promote the travel and travel-related benefits they offer in personal enrichment, mutual appreciation between cultures, and reduction of political tension through a sense of community and connectedness. So see, a tourism business, a tourism approach, the destination marketing and management should also benefit the community people to enrich their culture, not to left them behind. At the same time, they must make their messages viable within the saturated media environment that envelopes the prospective travel customers they hope to attract. So most of the time today they are using internet technologies such as blogging, web communities, virtual visits, and social networking programs because it hoped to attract not just the person in the urban area or in the developed area, but the people who has the ability to access but living on a rural area. For example, here in our province, even though we have connectivity, we have the ability to connect online, but sometimes we cannot because of internet connection problems. And also, we want to go to a specific place, but we are we don't push through because of our location. Since we are living in an island which is isolated from the rest of the country or from the rest of Metro Manila, for example, or the NCR. So sometimes location is a factor. But here, it says here that even though there are different factors affecting the consumption of tourists or yung paggastos ng mga turista or yung kanilang ability to go to a specific place, the destination marketers must consider this social environment. They should promote inclusivity or yung hindi dapat nang discriminate yung kanilang mga marketing approach. It should be applicable to all. Next factor that we have here is the political environment, the quest for relevance. Destination marketers such as the DMOs or the Destination Marketing or Management Organizations continue to face confusion, uncertainty, and doubt from their local governments, stakeholders, and partners regarding the roles they can play and the value they can offer. For many, this results in the perpetual fight with an increasing number of contenders seeking a portion of local taxes and municipal forms of funding for non-tourism related purposes. In very popular destinations, leaders of the political process may question the need to market the destination at all, and citizens may view tourists as an intruding nuisance rather than as contributors to the economic development of the community. So this is the biggest challenge for DMOs or yung mga marketers of the destination. Because for example, you are one of the members ng DMO in your area, for example in Bungabong or in Bulalakaw. And sometimes, yung mga LGU officials ang mga kontrabida or sila yung mga against sa mga tourism marketing approach. Such factors affect their decision or their behavior, why they behave like that, is because they think the tourism is not an essential to their community. I remember when we have a research about a certain area here in our LGU, we have been questioned or we have been asked by the barangay captain of the barangay that we have gone to if nakakain daw ba yon yung aming proposal, because our proposal is for I won't mention the place, but to market that place to the city because hindi siya masyadong accessible. So, we think that if the accessibility increase, mas dadami yung tourist and mas makikilala siya. But, yung mismong barangay chief or barangay captain is the one refusing the proposal because he said that makakain daw ba yun? Or would it really help them? Or magastos ba yun? Because sometimes, this LGU, this political people, they think that if you are going to have an offer for them or a proposal, they would spend a lot because their budget also is at minimum level or meron silang mga pinaglalaanan na. And what you are trying to propose is not part of their budget. So that's their concern. So we understand that, but they don't realize that tourism is also contributor to their economic development. For example, nag-push through yung proposal and then tourists will come in, it would build jobs for their community people. And those community people would not have to go to other place to work. And they can work there in their place. So sometimes yung mga close-minded individuals, they affect the marketing process. Minsan sila yung ayaw or sila yung minsang nagre-refuse. We are done with the political environment, and this factor is somehow related to political environment, but in a larger sense. Next factor that we have here is the legal environment. Mixed signals from the government. Governments at a variety of levels in many countries may increasingly impose taxes, laws, and other restrictions upon travel related commerce as part of their political and social, economic, and ecological agendas. Some of these legislative interventions work to the advantage of certain destinations and to the disadvantage of others. Some may lead to competitive retaliation by other governments. In some cases, policies and at various political levels may conflict with one another and may even reflect conflicting policy theories within certain governments. Destination marketers must vigorously oppose unilateral governmental actions that threaten to balkanize the travel sector and advocate shared solutions that balance economic, ecological, social, and political benefits for all involved. So here, what this factor trying to say is that government here also in the Philippines, specifically in the Philippines, has their varying policies. You still remember the different government policies in the approach for COVID-19? It's different. It's not unison. Hindi siya pare-parehas. And that caused problem. Because sometimes when tourists go to a specific destination and they reach sometimes the boundary of for example barangay, yung pinuntahan nila kunyari ay Siargao, and the other Siargao, I don't know what's the barangay na nakakasakop dun sa surfing island talaga, but for example they will go to that specific place and then they just put a step with the boundary nung isang barangay versus doon sa isang barangay. Sometimes it cause a conflict because people here really stick to their boundaries, really stick to their limitations, to the geographical limitations of a specific place. That is, for example, the the political boundaries or the geographical boundaries. But we're talking here is the legal, yung mga policies na yun. Because that specific boundary, for example, imposed different policy. For example, here in this barangay, it imposed that tourists can no longer go to 10 meters away from the beach, for example. And here in this specific barangay, which is a meter away only, imposed that they can go 20 meters to the beach. So it's a different policy, and it sometimes causes confusion not only with the tourists but also to the destination marketers. They tend to have a confusing policy, and also which may cause more conflict with the tourist. It's not this is not advantageous. This is all disadvantage. Especially here, we have cited taxes, laws, other restrictions upon travel-related commerce. See, government really imposed different policies. Pero, minsan, different policies but same lang naman yung objective. It's just in their application different, but the objective is all the same. The next factor here, driving factor that affect the destination marketing and management, is the geophysical environment, or the tagline going green. So the intensifying focus on global warming, climate change, and related ecological concerns will create pressure at many levels of society and government, and in many economic sectors to be seen as green. Common sense may be in short supply during this hype phase, and strong leadership will be needed to focus the green conversation along rational pathways for long-term impact. Destination marketers must advocate a realistic balance in the green conversation, promoting intelligent trade-offs and synergistic solutions that combine a rewarding travel experience with sustainable economic development. Well, of course, it's a huge responsibility for a marketer to balance the marketing that they've been trying to approach and the tagline going green, because tourism business really affects um, badly the environment. We have to admit that tourism really affects negatively to the environment. If there's positive effects, it also has their negative effects. Remember what happened to Boracay. Because of the influx of tourists going there, what happened? The place deteriorate, and it needs months of rehabilitation. So the marketers there, even though they're trying to touch the going green slogan of maintaining a very good and conducive environment, a clean environment, still nangyayari pa rin na hindi siya masyadong achieve, because sometimes even though marketers have in their plans the going green slogan, or they're trying to touch the environmental effects of their approach or of their marketing strategy, sometimes uh, in the long run or during the process of tourism businesses, yun yung pinakang nalileft behind. Because tourists keep on spending, tourists keep on buying, and this destination keeps on improving their facilities, their products. And through that improvement, sometimes they tend to forget that they are really affecting the environmental side of that specific area. So we are done with the driving factors that affect destination marketing and management. Let's have here the persons behind destination marketing and management, their structure, roles, and responsibilities. Three distinctive types of tourism organizations at a country level that are engaged in destination marketing and management. First are DMOs. So you'll be hearing DMOs a lot here in this subject. DMOs meaning Destination Marketing Organization. They are responsible for promotion. What are they promoting? Obviously, tourism services, tourism destination, specifically destination. Second, government agencies providing policy advice to government. And the third, private sector, umbrella industry association that champions the causes of member organizations. So let's have a deeper look to this organizations in the following slides. Now let's have DMOs, or Destination Marketing Organization, defined as the organization responsible for the marketing of an identifiable destination. So what thus identifiable means? Meaning, what they have been promoting, what they have been using their marketing approach with is the present destination, the one which is already on hand, yung nandyan na. Okay, they focus on that, and then later on they focus on those destinations that are just booming or yung mga papalitaw pa lang. So let's touch what's their responsibilities and the levels of DMOs locally and internationally on the following slide. So why are we talking about DMOs? Because destination need to have a specific focal person who will focus on their approach. So it's not really the DOT mandate itself. It should not be the DOT's responsibility itself, but rather they provide a specific organization and offices who will touch and who will focus on the improvement of the marketing and management approach of a specific destination. So we have here the 4 levels of DMOs: National Tourism Office, NTO; State Tourism Office, STO; Regional Tourism Organization, RTO; and Local Tourism Office. Now let's just have a very quick overview of what's the responsibility of these following offices. So the NTO, the World Tourism Organization, or the WTO now, United Nations World Tourism Organization, introduced the term National Tourism Administration as the authorities in the central state administration or other official organization in charge of tourism development at the national level. Okay, so this organization is on national level, okay? It was used to distinguish from National Tourism and Tourist Organization and National Tourism Office. So its responsibility overall is for marketing a country as a tourism destination. All right. Next here is the State Tourism Office. Actually, this office is applicable for a country with various states like USA, province like Canada, territory like Australia, because the researcher of this reference comes from abroad. That's why he uses the examples of these 3 countries. Okay, it's applicable for a country that has a federal political system, like those mentioned. Next that we have here is the Regional Tourism Organization, or RTO. The term regions here represents concentrated tourism areas such as cities, towns, villages, coastal resort areas, islands, and rural areas. This level of DMO is also known by other titles in different parts of the world, such as Convention and Visitor Bureau in the US, Regional Tourism Board in RTB in UK, defined as the organization responsible for marketing a concentrated tourism area as a tourism destination. So it can also be applied to here in the province, for example, Region 4B Mimaropa. So that level of office has their own tourism sector which holds the tourism promotion and marketing. Most of the time, they hold their office in Calapan, and if you will notice there, you can visit, and if you have something that you want to suggest, or you want to pass a proposal for a specific areas of concern, for example, they are willing to entertain, especially if you are really doing your research, and if you want to like help to improve one of the destinations you have in your area. Specifically, for example, you're living here in Nauhan and you want to improve the tourism visits in, for example, in Bangkuro Church. They are really trying to help. Sometimes they provide funds, they provide research materials, supporting materials, and also they provide people who can you talk with to a specific concern. So this regional tourism organization is concentrated to tourism areas, for example, cities, regions, towns. So each town here in Oriental Mindoro, they have their own tourism office. So next that we have here is the local tourism office. It can represent both a local tourism administration and a local tourism association. The former may be the local government authority, with the latter is while the latter is a form of cooperative association of tourism businesses. So this is more on the LGU side, the local government unit. Remember, they have their own tourism office, they have their own tourism head, which really focused on the tourism products and services offered by a specific municipality or city, and also the marketing. So sometimes they're competing, municipalities are competing on their festivals, on how they celebrate fiesta, on how they market specific place or destination in their area.